the problem is not power per se, it's unchecked power.
Right.
Right? And so, I mean, the Founding Fathers understood that. That's why you had, you know, checks and balances. And the problem is that a lot of the checks and balances on, you know, intellectuals, right, what's happening at universities, have broken down, right? And the checks on corporations, which is government, right, is broken down. And the check on government is the people, and that's broken down. And so what's happened is that a lot of the checks and balances have failed. And the ultimate check and balance is the people. But the problem is that you can't get the wisdom of crowds if the crowd isn't wise. And it's not that, yeah, it's a real big fucking problem.
Good one.
And so
that's a good statement.
And the problem is that a large part of this is these are large historical forces, namely specialization. So, you know, if we get, you know, the 300 million people in America, it's not that everybody's an idiot, right? It's that, oh, you're a lawyer and you know the law and you know nothing else, right? Or you are a teacher and you know your subject, you know history, you know whatever, right? Or if you go into academia and you talk to a bunch of scientists, you'll find, oh, you know your subdiscipline of psychology, of biology, of chemistry, of whatever, and literally nothing else that is happening in science. So the problem is that what that happens is if you look at the Founding Fathers, they read really, really widely. And, you know, I was recently involved in an intellectual dispute with some libertarians, right? And so I went to libertarianism.org, which is run by the Cato Institute.
What was the intellectual dispute regarding?
So the big beef that I've been taking is with fundamentalists. And
across the board.
Across the board. I don't really have I don't really care what kind of fundamentalist you are. I have an issue with fundamentalism in general. And if you look at what you were just doing, Joe, is that you were able to hold two contradictory thoughts in your mind, right?
I think it's important, right?
It's incredibly important. You were able to say there's a problem with people who oppose capitalism, and there's a problem with much of what corporations are doing. And then that's how, you know, you start to figure out reality. Is you're like, oh fuck, there are these two opposing things. How do I reconcile them? And you have to go around, you have to think, you have to read, you have to talk to people, you have to do all that sort of stuff. Fundamentalists aren't burdened with that problem. They have a much easier time because they know that they are the good guys. They know that there is one thing that is the answer to all of our problems and that there is one thing that is bad. And whatever that bad thing is, if we can just get rid of that bad thing, then all of our problems will be solved. And then they go about figuring out how to strip away more and more and more of that bad thing. Right? So you look at the obvious example is Islamic fundamentalism. They're like, it's the way of the Prophet. We just have to live the way of the Prophet Muhammad. And so then we have to strip out anything that interferes with that, like toothbrushes and kites and, you know, women's education.
Women driving themselves around.
Exactly. All these really problematic things, right? And, you know, it's not that the Prophet Muhammad didn't have a toothbrush. It was just a stick toothbrush. And, you know, I'm not a dentist, but I think that an Oral-B is better than a stick toothbrush.
Stick?
They had like sticks that were like bristled at the end or something. Like they would break up the stick and then, you know, just get that stick in there. And,
really?
Yeah.
So you're supposed to use that today, to this day?
Well, if you listen to some imams, yeah.
Wow, if you want to go super, super deep.
Yeah. Well, exactly. That's the point. And it's always about going super, super deep into...
But isn't that the case with Christianity and all religions, right? It's like there's people that are just, you know, kind of like casual Christians, just like there's people that are casual Muslims. And then there's people that go whole hog.
That's right.
And think that the reckoning's coming and Jesus is on his way and
That's
you
right.
better pack your bags because you're going to need clothes in heaven. Like there's people that are packed, ready for Jesus to take them away.
And those people give the rest of Christianity or the rest of Islam a bad name.
But they also